coaches from Koips in Finland. It's a big club. Actually, they have a Latvian player in the first team. That is Janis Ikaunieks. That is from the national team Latvian. But okay, it's welcome for them also. This is a club that Daniel Martins started this year. It's ACJV from Latvia, from Riga, and it's a club that is opened to foreign players, to Latvian players, for all the players that want to have fun, to enjoy, and also to keep growing in football. And okay, in the summer I joined them after my season in India, and it was a very nice experience. And already it's the second year that I play with them. In the start was only games 2 days in the week, to gather together and enjoy. But finally, it's from that good environment, it created a club, and there are kids in the youth, and there is a very nice place to well, in Riga to grow in football step by step.
Well, thank you for the words, Benito. That's it. That's a very nice description.
A lot of work. But a
very nice
lot of work.
description.
We know that it was a lot to make it possible, no? And this is the only way. You need to be a little crazy and to put a lot of sacrifice to grow in football, to make such a place, no? So I will start to show the presentation. It's about a method, but of course you know that in football is not the truth. The truth actually in football doesn't exist. There is not only one way to look football, or to understand how to train the players, how to evolve, how to get the best from your teams, from all the moments that you have, no? But football is a very complex game, yes, with a lot of variety, making decisions. There is the space, the time, the opponents, the ball, a lot of factors that finally are important and make this so beautiful sport, no? But if we think about how to train a football player, maybe the first question is, how is football game, no? And we were saying this complexity and all these possibilities that appears, we need to have in mind when we want to put the different moments and the different situations to the players, to get them the best from every situation, every action, every game. And okay, our vision and our mission is all designed by the player. That is the main element of the game is the player. And we think that to develop the players, we need to have fundamental basis that sometimes we are forgetting, because we want to break down all what is in football, the physical area, the tactical area, the technical area, the psychological, and in a lot of moments we are finally not giving the proper feedback or the information that we should provide to the players to grow. Yes, so we are now standing with Universal Football Coaching, that is a company that is behind this method. There are coaches that are following this method, that are following this idea to train in their clubs, no? And we try to expand as much as we can, because we think that is objective. Finally, the objectivity in football is very difficult. The statistics, all the different way of trainings that are in football, it's true that it's difficult to have an objective view. But if you focus in the football game and in the different stages, and especially about how the player evolve and how the player understand the game, then you are providing good and proper feedback for the growth of the young boys, no? And also for the players like us, also it's important to have this kind of feedback, no? In the initiation stage, from the early ages, a lot of freedom in the game to understand, to have fun, to enjoy, to experiment. Yes, they need to understand which are the qualities that they have, the technical deficit that they may have, the kids, but to start to also, step by step, even they are small, understand what is happening in the game, which are the situations, the problems that they get, and from that information, from that understanding, from that knowledge of themselves, they will be able to be more creative individually, especially in the start, because these young boys will have a lot of myself and the ball, yes, but step by step, putting it by with a group of players, with teammates, for the service of them. No? In the development stage, we speak about 12 and 16 years, assimilation of universal concepts. Okay, we didn't explain yet much about the universal method, but these bases, these fundamentals are extract from the game, from the most of the situations will provide details how to solve, how to interact better through the game, through the teammates, and even with the opponents. You get a lot of different moments in the game, and you need to be prepared for all these situations. And especially in these ages, you need to understand how to be creative, how to solve all these moments by knowing how you are, how you can help your team. And in the competitive stage, from 17 years old till the day you die or you stop playing football, it's about your identity and how you implement for a collective context for the team, how you implement all your sources, all the passing, the dribbling, the technique, but also the game understanding, not only the technical aspects. We are not thinking about, okay, this is the technique, this is the tactics, this is the physical. No, all the game is connected by physical, technical, tactical, psychological moments, and this interaction should be always understand like a whole, like the global thing that is the game. And you need to specialize step by step in the positions. No? At 15, 16, 17 years old, you already need to understand which are the main roles that you can occupy for a team. No? I'm going a little fast, but if you have any question, you can stop. We are here for the time that you want, so don't worry and stop me when you want. In youth football, we speak about the identity, that is the game model and the values. It's a philosophy that every club has. Yes, understanding this and understanding the characteristics of the players, the importance that have every player's development, and the process that is teaching and learning, the method, the concepts that are all from the game, but you need to put it in a way that every player will understand how it is. No? And we said, okay, football is very complex, but there are moments, defense, attack, transitions, defense, attack, defense, and the set pieces. These are the 5 moments. So from there, you can understand the different situations a little better. And then, if from those situations you understand that there are 2 possibilities or 3 possibilities in every moment, then you are having some principles that you can get from those moments. No? But we will go a little further later on in the presentation. Maybe this is the key, because if you don't have a teaching learning process, if you don't define what you want to teach to the players, what you want that they acquire for your club, for the next stages, then you are going only making jumps, making blind movements, but you are not going in a direction. No, so if we understand which could be the teaching learning process that you want for your club, but especially for the players, for giving tools for the players. So if they go to another club, they still, even the team will change the style, the system, the tactics. They will be able to adapt. But many times we are thinking only in myself, only in the club, and we don't understand that football is for the whole world, and the players will go on. They will go to another clubs, but if you go, your player go with a lot of tools to the other team, then your club will grow, still will grow, because the image of the club will continue expanding and will be able to have a better will be a better place for any player. You know, if your player goes and he doesn't know how to play only for one style or only for one formation, then it's a player that didn't learn too much in your club. No, so again, we will go a little further about that. No, we can define about the values, yes, the order, intelligence, intensity. This is just an example, but are important to define for the small kids, that they learn about these special aptitudes for the life, not only for the club, but for because finally they will be human beings that will be in a society that will finally help us in the future. No, these players that grows in your club should be able to expand the philosophy around the society. No? And in our method, we said that the characteristic or the attention to the players is fundamental. No, every concept of the game are giving a characteristic self-knowledge. You need to, from these trainings, you need to provide information to your players, and from that information, the players will be able to understand how they are productive, how they are effective in different situations, in different skills. And when you know how you are, and you know really how you can help, then you are efficient. In a work, any job, it will happen that if you are doing the things like only the boss tell me, and you are not understanding how you can help, you are less comfortable, and you are not able to put yourself for the team, for the group of work. No? And this always you get from experiences, from playing the game. You will understand every time by yourself, but also by the feedback of the coaches. And there is where the mistake, the error in a complex sport like football, it's very natural, it's normal. And from those mistakes, we need to take advantage, because from those mistakes, we are growing physically, mentally, technical, and tactical. These informations it goes always for the next challenges and the next games that they have. But of course, we need to take the time to have a talk. We are humans and we do the mistakes, but we need to always have the communication, the feedback, and to see that nothing happens from a mistake. Completely the opposite. The mindset should be even stronger every time. So one of the things from the game, and one of the universal concepts, maybe the key, is about looking constantly, always obtain information from what we said, no? Space, time. If you have a space in the pitch, you will have time, you will have touches, you will be able to dribble, to get different another situation with advantage. If you don't have a space, you need to look for it. So looking is all time, but not only when you attack. It's a matter of defending also, because you need to understand where is the opponent. You need to see how you can defend the space in the best way. Yes, some teams are comfortable defending in their box. Some teams are comfortable defending very high. This is about the style, but you need to understand that there is a space that you are giving, and there are the advantages that you can take from those spaces. So if you are able to control, dominate the situations by the spaces, then you will be winning one of the mini battles that you have in the games. No? The knowledge of the opponents, not only the teammates, but characteristics about the positions and how they play the opponents. We need to check. We need to, in only by knowing the dominant leg, yes, the less skilled leg also, you will understand what to do in different situations against him. And during the trainings, we speak up there are different ways to approach. You can approach only by the execution, that is only technical skills, without opposition, just the technique. And okay, it's one part, but the significant learning, we think, and actually we are testing on that, and it's giving a lot of good results, is that when you have the free moments of the movements of the players, that are the communication and perception, yes, to gather information about the moment in the game. The decision making, because you look all this about where is the opponent, where is the teammate, where are the spaces. You look this information to take a decision. And when you take the decision, it's the next step. You take an action, and usually it's an execution. You do a technical skill or a movement. So from those movements, those technical skills, we need to have, first of all, the other situations. But if you don't have the spaces, if you don't have an opponent, if you don't have the teammates, if you don't have the goals, the direction where to attack, then we are having less information from the football game. And finally, okay, maybe we are losing a little time in controlling or not controlling, because we cannot control most of the things in football is not able to control, but you will have advantage in many of the situations. About understanding the player, you know that it's a complex structure with different areas, and we need to understand that, okay, a player with this all complexity, a human being will have a lot of weaknesses. So we need to help them to grow, not only in the sport side, but also in the human and the different areas that they have. No, the conditional is about more about the physical aspects, the emotional, the cognitive, about thinking, about understanding, about trying to get the most from every training. The social, how they interact with the teammate, with the coach, with the people from the club. The coordinative is the techniques, all the skills that you are working on the trainings, and then the creative expressive. No? We are human beings that wants to show what they are doing, how they are growing, what they are learning, and they need to be able to experience, to try, to get, and in some moments they will not do what the coaches we want, but we need to understand that, okay, this player is feeling comfortable, and when you are comfortable in a club, in a team, then for sure there will be more pros than another bad moments. Okay, till now we will make a pause because almost 15 minutes without stop. Maybe if you have questions, we can go through them, then goes a little more the complexity of the presentation.
Actually, we spoke about it a lot, Benito, when you were here, and it's interesting also to perceive it in a more theory way, because actually we spoke about it, but now I can really see that the idea, philosophy that you are having with your method is really a good combination with how to say it, like it's a good combination. Before we said that the Dutch created space in football, yeah, and so to say Portuguese, Spanish, Italians, French created technique, and yeah, you see where I get it. And
Yeah.
I think here is you are finding a perfect combination where you are joining both. Basically you are thinking, you are speaking about space. That is also really important in football, but you are also combining the technicality of it. So, and of course you are creating players that, of course, you want them to follow through all the process, but you are also creating players that some will leave, but they will prepare it. So that's very nice, actually. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with me about that.
It's
It's
true.
space and technicality, but I guess.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay, in Argentina, Brazil, you know that I'm from Argentina, and we were living in the streets, in the parks, playing football in the small pitch, or when we were learning from that. But now in most of the countries, okay, Latvia and Finland are not the cases, because you have a lot of fields that are allowed for any boy for going in any moment. So you can have a lot of hours in the fields with your friends playing. But the truth is that, okay, it's missing all this game interaction that we had before. 8 hours we were playing, 6 hours we were playing in the street. Yes, and we will never tire about it. And all this interaction with the game we are not having so much. So it's important that we provide the information of the day of the game, but especially that the players, from their experiences, they ask themselves, or the coaches ask questions, small things. What is happening now? What is the situation? Which are the solution for this moment? And when the player is getting conscious about all these moments, they later in the game will be able to put it to the unconscious. Then they will solve all these moments by themselves. And this is what we are trying to get by studying football all the time, studying how it is now, the dynamic, and then from those situations that football is providing, to be able to have better and better tools in everyone, no?
Yeah. Of course, I wanted to include, of course, countries from Argentina, Brazil. They are the face of all technicality. Of course. It's of course, but yeah, indeed, I understand completely what you're saying, and it's a hard way now, because we know that players are not playing that much outside clubs, a bit less here, so it's complicated to not create PlayStation players, so to say, so that they just
Yeah.
hear what we do and they do whatever we say to them to do, but they are not creative enough, so to say. But
It's
in,
true.
so you said it exactly what I had in mind about trying to make creativity be the number one priority. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Tony and Grondo, they're coaches. Finland. Well, we know from Espanyol when we were training there, and actually, okay, the good thing of football culture is that is a lot of diversity, and we are growing from that diversity. No? So I would like to for them, if they can explain briefly how is more or less going now the youth football in Finland. Is possible?
Yeah, it is. Do you hear me well? This is Tony speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think in Finland we struggle with the same thing that you asked previously, Daniel, but the technicality versus physicality and technicality. So and the game intelligence stuff. So I think some of us are worried that we create too slow players if we just focus on game intelligence and perception things in football. So it's I think a little bit struggle here in Finland because some teams they are so physical and pushing so much on technical and physical stuff and forgetting about game intelligence because our players don't play enough. They just might play in the school for 1 hour a day, and that's their football. And game practice and team practice 4 times a week. So we don't play enough football to get so skillful. I think that's the main problem. Our hours are too low. Most players.
Tony, very quick one. Sorry, Martin's here. Tony, where do you play football? In halls, in halls, indoor halls, or what do you have there? Where do you play football in winter?
In winter time, some of us play in the snow. In the school, they play all around the year in the snow. In the winter time, and we have indoor halls in Kuopio. We have this huge indoor hall in Kuopio, and I think in many towns in Finland have indoor halls that they can play inside.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, of course.
Tommy here, and also my area we play futsal now a lot because we don't have the hall. We're using futsal.
Which, as we had a class last Thursday, and it was about it was a futsal coach, and of course he spoke about the positive aspects of youth players like going to futsal for some, like the process is to go to football and futsal to understand the differences and to try to use what they learned in futsal in football. It's also very interesting. So of course in here we do whatever we can. Of course this is and of course like you said, Tony, we need to adapt to the football we have in our in the country we are playing. Yeah, of course, we know that in Latvia, Finland is the same. Like you said, physicality is it's a top priority, so to say. So we need to think about that. Of course, we can create players that are technically good, but we know that if the other clubs, which is not a problem, they lose many games when they are very young because most of the clubs prioritize physicality because they know that they will use it much more than technicality when they will be adults. Of course, every philosophy or idea is different, but it's true that we need to think about that. If we think that these players will play here locally, we need to think that technicality is not as important as in South America or in Western Europe. So, yeah.
But our idea actually it grows from okay, I said no about the study of the game like this, and actually okay, if we think I don't know through the football game, it has all these aspects, no, the physical, the mental is very important. Here in India, we have players that they do a mistake and they put the head down and finish. Yeah? You cannot take them from that situation, no? And it's just an example because there is about the mentality a lot, but also the tactical things and the technical. But the final I don't know, maybe change with this method that we're having, the universal method, is that it's a global game where all these areas are connected. You can train the physical skills in the football game. It's true that they are complementary complement in the training sessions, that you need to do gym, you need to do other things that maybe are not so related to the game itself, but they are helping the players to be better and to grow. But usually, when you are providing feedback and the training sessions are providing all these stimulus of psychological, physical, technical, and tactical areas all connected in the game, yes, then the players are having better experiences to the game. Then you can train individually with the players and provide more feedback about technical skills or physical. But the one of the things that we are checking in different cultures in different countries is about this, to provide the training sessions with a lot of game situations, from a smaller, like a rondo or a passing drill, to the game itself. And we are getting a lot of results of players that are growing, not only technical or tactical, but physically, and the mindset is every time better, because sometimes it's true that we are teaching as coaches that the player learn in the training mathematics, but then on Sunday when they play, they are actually having a test of literature. So we are teaching sometimes about a technical skill, for example, only the driving, but in the game they will have opponents. There will be another spaces, another kind of objectives, and finally they will not be prepared for that. And maybe we are missing time from our trainings to give more game experiences. But this is not that, okay, now 1 hour training, we will play 1 hour this training. No, we did it with Daniel, different kind of task where there was a progression in the training. There was, from this rondo, from this possession, you were, or from this attack defense, you were going to have these principles, yes, in the game. When I say this principle is about these game movements, but with the philosophy of how to solve those situations. No, okay, we with the team, we know that when we lose the ball, we have two options. We will go to press and try to recover the ball high, but if this press is surpassed, then we come back together. Yes, and there are two options, very easy to understand, but these are two principles in the transitions, attack to defense. No, so finally, if we recover the ball, okay, we have another two options when we recover. Now we can fast attack if we have the advantage in front, if we have spaces in front, if we have players in front, we can fast attack, combine an attack, or we will keep the ball because they are already organized, but we cannot lose the ball again. So we will try to combine, to keep the ball, and finally, okay, you are making more clear to the player how to interact in the different situations. And if you think about physical skills, then these possessions, these small games, you can do it in a way that will be a physical content. So if you want to work about the speed, you can put a good number of players, for example, 7 against 7 situations. It can be with Joker, but the Jokers usually take a little the speed of the game. But 7 against 7 in a space that is the quarter of the pitch. No? So finally, what you are getting there is a lot of situations of change of directions, sprints, because the players will need to move all the time, no? And they need to have the goals, because the goals usually is put in another mindset to the players. Even small goals are already giving a direction to the players to attack. Also, they have this goal where to take the ball, no? And or you can do endurance training, that is a possession, but only free against free in a big space, no? You can think not half pitch, but maybe again a quarter of a pitch, but free against free. Now you're working resistance. The players are making runs, yes, all the time, and long runs, no, long runs. Or if you want to work the strength, you are making a smaller pitch now, box to box, or even smaller, and also you can make free against free, or 4 against 4, and now you're working the strength. A lot of contact, the players are having less space, a lot of interaction with the ball, and finally they are working the strength. Of course, there are a lot of ways how to train specific for the football game, but I wanted to make you some examples about them.
Actually, I'm thinking, well, it will be my theme. That will be my class. I will speak about manipulation of exercises to have what I want. For example, exactly what you said. If I want to work more on physicality, do I put less or more players? That's what I will speak. Or less space or more space. And I will go through that. But indeed, it's what you said. You need to trust in the process, and the results will come. Now, that's the question I wanted to ask you. And of course, you are all over the world. So basically, you have culture shocking. Basically, even if you trust in the process, I guess sometimes all the coaches around had difficulties to put it. You know, for example, I remember when I went to China to work. For example, I know that it was really, really, really hard to they wanted to bring the European method there, you know,
Yeah.
and basically the method we had was few players, not as many balls, but like so that they are concentrated in few players, little space, and they were completely the opposite. They had many players, a lot of space, and it was really hard to tell them, you know, okay, do that instead of that. And they were like, come on, no, but I learned football since 30 years, and now you are telling me that everything I did was completely wrong. I guess you had that. You have this shock sometimes with the teams you are going.
Yeah, and every culture, as you said, is completely different. The way of understanding football also, and actually, okay, in Finland, for example, there are a lot of technical players with very good technical skills. Yes, and you need to take advantage of those aspects also. That has the environment where you are getting, and then trying to think how the experiences of football game can help them to grow, no? And sometimes you need to start from the basics, but from the basics is not taking the player out of football game, but making a little easier, no? So they will have superiority over the opponent. There will be more players than the other group, so they will be able to have more space and more interaction with the ball. But try always to have as a base the football game and how it is now football game. So you cannot do a training in India with less dynamic than in other places. You need to try to get the same dynamic, the same complex game. But okay, if they are having problem with the duels, with the challenges, okay, put them in situations where they will be able to handle the duels, but they will be always interacting with with the space, the time, the opponents, the directions, where to attack, and the teammates. No, so in every training session we try to have these situations, but of course, step by step, they will be finally growing in duels, challenges, even if you are not focusing only in that. If you take the players and only do duels outside the pitch with them, of course it's not good. If you do only games and you are not putting stimulus about what they need to grow, it's also no good. But you need to find the task, the ways how to make that the players are having these interactions with the duels and not struggling, over struggling. They need to struggle a little. This is normal in life, in every situation, but not that they will not be able to handle the football game. No? And as a coach, you need to adapt a lot to the place. I know that China maybe was very difficult, very different, and I like I have everyday situations in India that I need to be always reminding myself how to interact and not to blame other people or say strong things to the people because they don't will not be able to handle, but to adapt to the place. No?
Well, adaptation is the key word. Like you can see, well, I heard many coaches, and this adaptation is the word that comes all the time. Countries that bring many coaches, they say, yeah, because in this country they always needed to adapt to every situation in life. So that's why they became good coaches, because when they go in front of a crowd, they can adapt themselves like this, and that's why. Yeah.
Look, the first word that appeared in this part, no, designing the session for the player. The what of the teaching learning process is important. So which are the objectives that you want to work? What is the idea of the training is very important. But finally, the how. The how is the main thing to get a good training session and that the players get more from there. And one of the things is that they need to have fun because football is a game. They need to have fun. But then, okay, coaches need to establish the objectives, thinking about the game. So if the objectives are related to the game, always better. Will be more natural for the players and actually will be uh, well more possible that they will get those objectives in the training session. And the key is to adapt players to the coaches, mainly the coaches to the players and to the environment. No? If they have these phases, yes, they will have a lot of stimulus from the game, and they will be able to succeed in most of the situations and take them to the football game that is the main objective finally. So
Benito,
okay,
can you put it in full screen, please? Can you put it in full screen?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
And you can see well now?
Yeah. Perfect.
The coach work will be to set the goals, the design of the teaching learning process. This is the start, and you do it before the trainings, even in the start of the season. Then is to transmit the objectives in the session. Sometimes you will say, okay, this session today we have the objectives of the passing and the width, no, in tactical aspects and technical aspects. And then the player will get the feedback, will get this information. But sometimes we are not saying which is the objective. You are not saying that you will wear the pass, but in the first task, second task, the player will understand that there is a pattern Yes, there are always situations of passing. There are always situations of getting wide. Yes, so finally you will have a teaching intervention. You can ask the player what is happening, which is the objective, how they are interacting between each other, and finally the players will try to tell you what they think, and you can guide them how to do it. The practice is the way to learn, no? And this kind of communication with the players finally will get that the players will uh, have better idea of how to succeed on that training session. And the main in the last part is to have a feedback after the training session with the players, only 2 minutes, but ask them what they train, how they saw the training session, the moments, the different tasks, and to get something from that task, from that training session, from those objectives for the next experiences. The player always need feedback and have a good communication with the coach to be able to have more solutions for what you want. No, we said that the game itself, technical, tactical, and well, physical and psychological, it's giving a lot of different situations, moments, and the 5 moments we defined offensive organization. What do we want to do when we attack? Yes, if we want to keep the ball, if we want to build up from the start, if we want to play direct and go for the second actions, if we want to combine only from the last part of the pitch. Yes, the defensive organization, how we defend, which strategy we use, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-5-1, but which are the principles that we have. No, if we press only when the ball goes to the side, if we press very high, if we start to press from the middle of the pitch, and if we are trying to be physical and make tactical fouls, well, these are the different ways. No? And in defensive transition and offensive transition is okay. Always in football, we will lose and we will recover the ball. So we need to be prepared for those moments. And finally, the set pieces that every time is getting more important in football because there are a lot of goals and they are conceding a lot of situations very dangerous. That finally, okay, we need to have our strategies, our ideas, how to defend and how to attack them according to the areas that the opponents are not covering and these spaces that we can attack. No? And this is an example of the principles, no? Because we say defensive organization, closing spaces down, not allowing the rival to progress, win superiority, marking. If you have a distant player during you are attacking, you need to have vigilances in the mark. Then the pressing, if you do it intense and disturbing where is the ball. Other principles, when you recover the ball, when you lose the ball, if you do coverage, you press with the players closer to the ball. When you recover, try to have a lot of time with the ball. Then the transition defense attack, yes, the occupation of the free part of the last third of the pitch. Yes, we need to have players in all the lanes and always to have advancing lines, no, to try to progress. The support movements, moving as a unit, always with the supports, with the team moving forward step by step, or the offensive organization, no, creating spaces with superiority in different areas. Occupying the spaces, controlling the attack from the initial zones, yes, with more players, with width, with depth to progress, and the movements in the ending zone. No, when the striker will attack the first post, the winger will attack the second post, the attacking midfielder will attack the penalty spot, a midfielder will arrive for the second action, and like this, so on. No? And for the technical and tactical concepts, in our method, we focus to connect these aspects. No? So if we say, okay, this week we will work the pass and the depth. No? So in attack, we will work these offensive aspects. No? We have the moment is the attack, the technique will be the pass, and the tactical aspect will be the depth. So we are training those movements and having the experiences during the training sessions and be able to give the information how to improve on those aspects. No? But then the next week we will work the defense, the how you tackle, and for example the marking. No? And you're working tactical and technical aspects connected, all from the game situations. No? There can be the different moments always connected, because football is all connected, and we are the ones that maybe can have better interactions, always that we understand that football game have only these 5 moments and have the different principles and the technical and tactical aspects that we can always relate. No? If you are driving the ball, you will have more options in the depth, movements in attack, to be able to attack the opposite defense. No? So this was the presentation, and I hope you like it, the way of understanding that we have. But as we said, there is not only one truth. This football game is very complex, and everyone have their different opinions, and we say what we think and what we are experiencing, but it's about everyone philosophy. No?
You know, Benito, actually, since you are the fourth appearing in the classes, and you know, like the last 2 pages that you spoke about concepts and moments, and actually I think this will be actually good to say, because you know, even if you have your methods, we can see already from the 4 people that there is something universal. Even if everybody has everybody has different opinions, the moments are the same. Everybody, all the 4 said that the set pieces are getting more important. The concepts, everybody said that. So basically, even if everybody has different opinions, we can see that actually the universal coaching method is starting to see. Of course, this is the basic of the basic, just the little words. Of course, there is.
Yeah.
It's the base of the tree, and then there is all the leaves and everything. And this is what, of course, everybody has different opinion. But it's good that at least in these moments everybody agrees that there are 5. Before, people they were saying, oh, maybe there are just 4. Set pieces is not really a moment, and more people are saying that. So thank you very much, Benito. Actually, it was very enlightening. I think that everybody can agree, and of course, that's why I wanted you to participate, because I know that with our talks, I know that you breathe football. So,
Actually, I would have a question. I think both of you knows perfectly that you learn the most when you are a kid. So is it easy to take some players already trained and that already have some other mindset and some other culture? And is it easy to bring them into this kind of training method and training culture?
I know that you will have this
Yes.
question, Hono. I knew it.
I had the experience with Alex Piace in Espanyol in Finland, that we had a group of under 8 kids that they had their qualities, but actually they, as a team, they were losing all the games. But this is only example because it's just an experience. No, these kids now maybe are one of the best teams in their age in Finland, but the way that they understand football, yes, that they are handling the situations and the spaces and using the different moments, is what for us was a big reward because we work a lot with every group to get them every time the same feedback. We were training all the groups by ourselves with the coaches from the academy. No, we try to give the same feedback to every player, to all the kids, to have a lot of different experiences and different moments. And the ones that more got were the smaller ones. They grow a lot in very little time. When they are younger, they are like sponges. They really were giving feedback about the space, about time, about the different situations, but incredible. And even some of them, they didn't speak fluent English, but they were understanding the game. And for us was a well, actually, it was very strange that even with difficulties with the language, that they will get a lot from those trainings, and was very nice. Yes, I don't know, Rona, if it's the answer you.
Just to
Yes,
That team, that team, what Benito told is Tony and my opponent team, and they playing very well. You know, they are now 10 years old, and that
Yeah,
team is amazing.
actually, just to add something more, Ronan, it's true that to learn it as an adult, I think I would say that maybe you don't agree, but learning football is like learning a language. It's always easier when you are a kid, and
yeah,
yeah.
it's true.
older you get, harder it is. It's just that, of course, you guys as adults, of course, we didn't know each other 3 years ago. So basically, I'm trying to pass something on you, but of course, it's always harder to change someone that had 10 coaches behind and need to decide what is good and what is bad in their head. Of course, they need to respect the idea, but it's always hard to think that. Of course, when you think about technicality, that's I think the point that you wanted to say. Harder it is because when you are a group of 8 years old kids, they are more or less all in the same pattern. You know, like when you take them, basically they are all new. So basically, you need to always to start from the basis, and you go, yeah. What the difficulty I find in this adult team, for example, with you guys, is that basically is that you all have different levels, and some guys are good at this, and some guys are good at that. But this is what makes us special, because you know, you try to make an exercise, and some guys will say, okay, my reception is really not that good, and of course, you know, like you told me before, it's better if we do like basic exercise. But of course, we need to think that most of the guys will say, yeah, but this is too simple, yeah, or too hard, or so you need to find a way to so that it's a win-win situation for everybody. Of course, this is hard for adults, but for kids, since everybody is in the same level, it's always hard. It's always easier to for the learning process, so to say.
That was the point in my question, that the 8 years old kids, you're kind of starting their football adventure, while in our team everyone got his football education in different countries with different mindset. So we are like a patchwork of a lot of variety of different football culture,
Yeah.
football learning. So that was the point. Like, is it easy to give a new teach a new way and
that,
put everyone together.
that's the way, you know, the universal coaching method is the way, because exactly, so even if you are in Portugal or you are in Finland or whatever, and you come here in Latvia and to play all together, in the end, everybody learn the same. And that will be, of course, this is a new method. They are doing that not since when we were kids, they were not
Yeah.
doing that. But
3
in
years.
general, in 20 years, if they continue with their jobs, basically, if imagine in the ideal world, everybody that comes to our club had the same education, even if they were coming from 15 different countries, it will be much easier to spread a message, because everybody will have the same learning method, so to say. Marcelo,
Great.
of course,
David?
it's
Hello, sir. First of all, thank you for the presentation. It was real nice, and it was real nice to see you again.
Yeah.
My question: you talked about the emotions for the player, and is there some kind of way that you can make them talk on the field? Because I have a team, and it's a real good team, but there is like maybe one or two guys that are talking, and
No,
it would be
it's
great
very
if more people would talk.
it's very normal. In every team, in every group, you will have players that will interact less. We use sometimes about giving points for the answers, these things for smaller kids, making like a game, all the different training sessions to have always like points, but mainly is that they feel that if they do a wrong answer, that is nothing happened. So you ask them, in the moment that you are stopping the task, for example, in the middle of a rondo, you stop. Okay, what is happening here? And you say the name of the boy, no? And he say, okay, I think that I could be in a better position. This is I don't know, the ideal situation that the players, even they are shy, even they feel comfortable in the group, in the way to be able to communicate with all. And actually, this improve the teams when most of the players are interacting and feeling part of the group, But always the environment is the key, that they need to feel that if they do a mistake, nothing happens, that it's only part of the game. And when you ask them if they don't want to interact in that moment, okay, you go for another player, but you try again and you try again. They finally they will start to feel that they can do it, and that everyone is important for the group,
Yeah, all right. Because I have this volleyball team, and it's very important to ask for the ball. It's very important to say what kind of ball you do need and to communicate. But for the last 2 months, it's complete silence on the field. They're playing good
Mm.
though, but I would like to have them more talking and asking for the ball and not be afraid to have the ball.
Yeah,
not
the
just in
communication
volleyball.
is fundamental in football. Is key for all. But of course, in maybe you have a player from Argentina. They come and they in the first day of the training they are asking for anything. They are kids in Spain that you cannot tell them. If you ask them a question, they will say, "What you are asking me? Give me the answer. What you are asking me? You are the coach." No? There are kids that have the mindset that came from very young. But if you start with the younger boys with this kind of feedback, with this kind of interaction, always will be better and easier the approach. In Finland, in Latvia, maybe the kids can be more shy in some moments, but this is about the approach that you can get for all the different groups. And giving points, it's a very good tool if you have young boys.
Actually, just to add, and maybe you will tell me what you think, Benito. Well, in the French education system, since I'm also a teacher, they really, really focus on observing and coaching when they're kids. Basically, that's why also we are doing this. I mean, I want to create players that understand the game, because basically communicating comes from understanding. If not, you are communicating wrong. And since last year with my under 11, even if they still don't speak much in the pitch, I see that, for example, they are uneven. So I put a role as a coach, and basically I'm behind him, and I speak very, very silently. And basically he needs to say what I'm saying to all the guys inside the pitch. And basically and then every 2 minutes we change. And when this kid is entering in the pitch, he's speaking much more. Because basically he stays behind, he sees what he can do, and then he enters, and then, well, this shyness is left. Of course, it's harder with some kids, it's easier with others. But the point of it with adults is also that you guys will understand maybe a bit more about the game itself. One day, maybe I will tell you, okay, guys, just make the exercise and just make the feedback, and possibly when you will be inside the pitch, you will speak maybe more, and you see it. Benito, for example, Davids, you are coaches yourselves, and maybe you are the guys that speak more when you are on the pitch. That comes from it. If you had this experience about speaking outside the pitch, you will speak it inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, guys, I will go to lunch now. Okay, it was really nice to see you all, and to have also Grondo and Tony over here was also excellent. We'll speak later, Grondo, and we'll try to get another call
Yes.
soon.
Thank you, Benito, a lot.
And thank you so much.
And guys, hope to see you soon, and well, continue enjoying all what you are doing with ACJV. Eh?
Thank you so much, Benito, and I hope to see you soon in the pitch again. But of course, I know that later you come, better it is, because if you come in May because you went to Champions League, so I hope you come late, even though I would like you to be here anytime soon. So
okay, guys.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Benito.
Thanks,
See you.
guys. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.